Okay, I thought this could be a fun idea for a video. What I'm going to do here is rank every first round draft pick from the first half of the 2024 draft. So these guys have all played one season, and I'm simply going to rate it based on how well their first season went. So, okay, simple enough. Let's just get into the list. We'll go 4 at a time, starting off with Byron Murphy the second that Seattle drafted. With my created team, the Orlando Ostriches, I also drafted him. So, unfortunately, I think both of us are underwhelmed. Now, I will say, like, a surprisingly good first half, like, of the draft. Like, there wasn't a lot of bad picks, and, like, interior defensive lineman, kind of a position that can take some time to develop, because at the college level, you're just used to being bigger and stronger than everybody. Not quite that way at the NFL level, and sometimes it just takes an adjustment, which is understandable. So we'll see what happens. JJ McCarthy, again, got injured right away. Never got a chance to play. That doesn't get too much, not really his fault, but you kind of have to put him lower on the list just because, like other guys, at least we got to see some positives from, right? I could have just not included him altogether, but if I'm going to include him, I guess 15 feels fair. Because like he's the one guy who, I think Murphy was the one guy who didn't look good last year. Everyone else at least showed something. J.C. Latham and Rome Odunze, I think you wanted more out of both of them, but like they both feel like effective players that are going to grow and become a player in the NFL. Are they going to be stars? Well, that remains to be seen, but they should at least be like, they're already players in the NFL, and we'll just see how much they can develop. Next, 4, so we have Alo Fanu at number 12, a player that, so the Jets kind of had him play a few different positions because they're the Jets and, they always do this weird stuff. Once he kind of finally got to his natural position, he looked pretty good out there, so, like, definitely has potential to be with him and Membo on the other side now, that could be a really good tackle tandem for years to come. We'll just see if he can continue to develop. Talise Fuaga, played a lot more than Fashanu, so I gave him a little bit of a nod, even though you could argue Fashanu had a little bit of a higher peak. Fuaga, again, looks like he should be an effective tackle for the New Orleans Saints, so yeah, I feel okay about him. Leu Latu, the edge rusher for the Colts, he's one of those guys who, analytics darling, who tends to not fully light up the box score, and I think a lot of people want to see him light up the box score, and so there's been some criticisms of that, but ultimately, you just have to assume he consistently wins, he consistently does these nice things. Eventually, that lighting up the box score stuff will happen. We'll see, but that's why I'm still willing to believe in him and put him above other guys who I think played well. Caleb Williams, I put him at 9, and even looking at this, maybe you could argue this is too high for Caleb Williams. Granted, quarterback position is really tough to figure out, and just in general, with last year, the Bears were obviously kind of a mess, and there's been a lot of talk about how they were kind of a mess. That being said, it's not the Bears' fault that Caleb Williams would hold on to the ball for way too long and try to make too many guys miss and not be able to do it, right? All that stuff. Like, Williams does deserve some criticism for his mistakes, which is why he's a bit lower. But again, he did show some flashes. This was not a Zach Wilson situation where he just was, downright bad, but you want to see more from Williams, I think. And I think you will. Next 4, we have some more quarterbacks here, in fact. I mean, it was a good quarterback draft class, quite frankly, even though the generational guy was not one of the ones who had a great year. First, Marvin Harrison Jr., obviously, not Marvin Harrison Sr., he was I think, underwhelming given the expectations that were put on him. This is something I said in the pre-draft process, is like, if this guy ends up, if this guy ends up being DJ Moore, people are going to call it a bust of a pick, but like, you can't just go in expecting someone to be Julio Jones. Like, that doesn't always work out. He was still a very good player and showed some nice things and still was young and could get better. So, yeah, I like Marvin Harrison Jr. But Drake May, another guy in a bad situation. I think he showed more than Caleb Williams did in that situation. Some of the throws he was able to make were really impressive. Definitely takes too many chances. Definitely is still figuring out the NFL game. But the athleticism, the arm talent, And again, some of those deep shots that he was able to make were really impressive. Number 6, Michael Penix Jr., who only played 3 games last year, really. He kind of got in and played a little bit some other games, but really he played 3 games last year and looked really good. I mean, he got thrown into the stretch where it's like, hey, we need to win right now to try and make the playoffs. He just got thrown into the fire and maybe got burned a little, like playing some good teams, made some rookie mistakes here and there, but also made some really impressive throws. And I'm very, I would say excited to see what he's going to do next year, but I'm a Tampa Bay fan, so I'm very fearful of what he's going to do next year, as I think my take. And then Bo Nix, who just came in and was like a really solid quarterback right away, and you're going to get good, solid quarterback play for the next 3 years on a rookie deal. So we'll see what Denver can do with that. But yeah, I thought he was very impressive. So 5th best rookie season out of the people drafted in the first half of round 1. Let's get into the top 4 now. These are them. First, Joe Alt, number 4, who maybe has not yet reached the elite tier just yet when it comes to tackles, but was a very, very good tackle for the Chargers and will continue to be one as they have a good tackle tandem with Slater and Alt, who are 2 young, very good tackles. Malik Neighbors with the Giants, who a lot of times the Giants were just running their offense through Malik Neighbors, and might have said more about the Giants than Malik Neighbors, but it says a lot about Neighbors too. I mean, there were times when he was their offense. I think they were throwing to him like 50% of the time early on in the year, and it was like working. It was like the correct strategy. He gets so much attention, but can still just blow by guys one-on-one, and if he gets into a good situation, if the Giants can build more around him, I think this guy has all-pro potential. I really do. Brock Bowers definitely has all-pro potential. He won an all-pro as a rookie. Hard to get more impressive than that. I mean, I think probably should have won Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's weird that they give it to the quarterback, although I'm also putting him at 2, so maybe I'm part of the problem. But, yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers, again, at the tight end position, a position that usually takes time to develop. You could say he's not a great blocker, but, who cares when you're, the best receiving tight end in football already? As a rookie, that's pretty impressive stuff. I do have to go Daniels 1, though, just because, quarterbacks matter more. He's completely changed Washington's franchise, right? Brock Bowers has been a great player for the Raiders. Jaden Daniels is, franchise-changing player. It's just a positional value thing, which maybe I shouldn't have done for this video, but I decided to do it anyway. But, yeah, you could certainly argue the other way around. Listen, Daniels was, I think, in my opinion, was a top 5 quarterback last year as a rookie. That's crazy. That shouldn't happen. And then he also has a really good playoff run where that Tampa Bay game, I know the score was kind of low, but he was great in that game. The only reason the score ended up being a little bit on the low side was because there just weren't very many possessions. I think we had 3 possessions in the first half. The offense was rolling in that game, and then of course against Detroit, I mean, he couldn't be stopped in that game. So I think Daniels is going to be a potential, he's going to be a star in this league for quite some time. So yeah, definitely the best pick of the draft. Yeah, that's fair. That was the best pick of the draft, although Brock Bowers had the best season just due to positional value. I think that's reasonable, right? I think that makes sense to me at least. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but hopefully it does. Let me know your thoughts on this list in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.